calling to order the Historic District Commission meeting for October sixth, 7 p.m. I'm Lorraine Stubb, chairperson.
John Dakin, Commissioner. Borgash, member. Herb Watson, Vice Chair. Bill Sink, member.
And I'm not sure if Andrea is on that, but
Looks like she is.
Oh, yeah, she is. Thanks, just noticed. Okay.
okay. So nobody's here for audience of citizens, right? So we can, we usually skip over the minutes and go right to the hearings. So the first hearing is HDC 2025-04, request of Daniel and Gail Grace for an addition at 1246 Worthington Bridge. So Daniel and Gail, you have the floor to explain your project.
Okay, I'm Dan Race, this is my wife Gail, and we looking at the possibility of adding an addition. But from on the first floor of our house, currently it's on in the basement. Currently our bedrooms are on the second floor, and as we age, we're thinking we may sign on the first floor and want everything, you know, there available to us without having to climb stairs and rope her down. So that's the reason why we're looking at that option. And for the photos and the sketch that I made, and now you have a drawing that the contractor that we're looking at, he just drew up some dimensions of, well, the room bits. Instead of 8x6, it's gonna be 8.5 by 6, because the requirement for 6-inch studs versus 3-inch studs, 2x4s, so now 2x6s by code, I guess. So to keep the 6x8 interior, you know, or 5, actually 5, we're looking at least 5x8 interior. No, we had to go 8.5 for the exterior dimension, to allow for this actually a 5.5 inch. That accommodates the studs. So basically, it's pretty simple. That's, you know, the reasoning for it. If you look at both the photo and the sketch, you'll see it's going to be extending what's there now. Everything's going to be, you know, the same roofing, the same siding. The window will just be extended out to that addition from where it is now, and there won't be any window facing the street. That'll probably be the wall, if we choose to go this way, that'd be the wall where the washer and dryer will be on the east side, east side of the house. I don't know if there's anything else that's for information.
I have one question. Are you extending the stairway?
No, the stairway discussed, I say this, and the entry will stay where it is. Right. So the only thing that's being extended is that room, and there's only, according to the contractor, well, right now that area that's on the driveway side is on posts. It's just cantilever out, and it won't require a foundation. And we're just gonna have a post on the corner that's facing the street, so that it supports, you know, whatever, and that's within the road.
So you must have a plan on how to keep your pipes from freezing.
How to keep what?
Your pipes from freezing?
Oh,
If
the
it's
pipes
open on
won't
the
be
bottom?
they won't be external really. The wall is gonna have 6-inch insulation. It'll be heated. Room will be heated in the winter time. So it's gonna be that doesn't show in the drawing, but that's nothing that the historic commission is concerned with.
Right.
Inside the house, but it will have heating going from the kitchen out into that room, come back and return into the kitchen. So there'll be heat there. The piping is going to be on the wall. Most of the piping is going to be on the wall. That is part of the house currently.
Yeah.
I'll go directly, all the piping going down will be inside the main house. And then the only other piping would be, right behind the washer dryer. And that's gonna have, 6 inches of insulation. And also the heat, it's gonna have heat all around the room. The radiation will continue around the room.
Yes.
The laundry room have the best insulation in the house.
Well, not really, because the sunroom is 2x6.
Oh, okay.
The sunroom that we had, that I built that back in '93. And,
Oh, so you're ahead of the curve, because I don't think the code required it back then.
no, but I just thought that I wanted to keep it. It's facing south, so
Yeah.
that room stays 70 degrees, even if it's 20 degrees outside.
Yeah.
Without, because if it's sunny out, if it's not, then I have radiation on 3 sides of that room. So.
The lighting that's shown in the current picture, I presume you do have a plan for either continuing that all the way out or capping it off.
You mean,
Looks
in
like
terms
there's a
of
couple
the
of spotlights on that
Oh,
east corner.
Yeah, the spotlights will probably extend out to the corner of that laundry room. Instead of being, where they are now, they have to be removed. So that we can, add to the room, but they'll just, the lighting, the wiring is just gonna go another 8 feet and it'll patch
Makes sense.
in that corner. The only problem with that is it won't shine on. It'd be getting almost beginning the or half the house, it'll be half the house, it won't shine on the driveway as much as it does now. I'm not worried about that. We have a spotlight on the garage too, so.
So this window gets removed.
If it's removed and it be used for, it'll be the same window on
Oh, so you're just gonna move
Yeah,
it
we're
together.
able to
Okay.
an Anderson window that
Yeah.
hasn't been there that long. It's been there over 10 years, but the house was built in '83, and when we replaced all the windows. And
Yeah.
replaced the sidings.
Well, that's good, you could use that, and it matches what you got.
We're hoping to, I mean, unless it gets damaged and it's in
Yeah.
the, construction, should be fine.
And then on the side that faces the road,
That's
there's
just,
no,
that'd be blank, that's
there's
the side.
no window.
It's the side. Well, that's the wall where if we
Yeah.
choose to do this, the washer dryer would be on that wall and. There's. Don't really need, with the window on the other side of that laundry room, we don't really need to.
Yeah.
So the shrub here gets removed. Does this get
The other
removed?
one would probably be removed, there's actually 2 burning bushes there, we'll probably take out one of them. Just to aid him in construction, because he's gonna need the room to do the construction, the burning bush that's just beyond the Alberta spruce,
Mhm.
that's on the left,
And,
that probably have to be taken out.
now like
But there'll be another burning.
discouraging people from burning bushes because they're invasive species. They pop up everywhere in the woods.
Well, they're almost impossible to take out, but
Yeah.
we'll manage it.
And the whole house, I looked up, is all vinyl sided.
Yeah.
As it is, so.
It was built in '83, so it's not a historical.
Mhm.
But it is all the windows are 6 over 6. Which was required of it.
Guys, are there any more questions?
I have a question,
Oh,
and I might have missed this, but is the small deck and the stairway going to be extended
No.
all the way to the new section?
No, we're gonna maintain the entryway and the stairway where it is now, so everything else is gonna look. The way it is now is just gonna have that 8.5 foot extension toward the street.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I was wondering where the voice was.
Sorry.
You don't need to move the mailbox, everything stays the same, that's.
Yeah, everything's,
Yeah.
everything's gonna stay there.
Sounds like as long as it's done well, it'd be hard to tell that it's an addition.
Yeah, 'cause it's.
So it's kind of where it's-
He's just laying on the porch was there.
The siding will be the same, the only thing is, I'm sure, because the new siding that matches it. Won't be oxidized by the sun, so it's gonna take a while for it to match up. But other than that, it's the same Wedgewood blue, so.
Not that it matters, but where's the trash and the recycling gonna go at this point? If the bush goes away, I mean,
Batter, yes.
We'll probably put it alongside the garage, there's a actual sidewalk that goes along our garage, and we thought about keeping it there, but. It's so much simpler right now to have our garbage right at the corner underneath the spotlight,
no,
both for visibility for us and. But nobody sees it because of bushes.
right,
But you can see the bear when you go out to the yard.
Well, I'll probably be carrying a big flashlight and maybe a big stick.
Well,
big, yeah.
Worthington Ridge has had a number of sightings. Oh, yeah.
There was a bear in my front yard yesterday.
Where are you?
Well, Sunset Lane right off. where-
Okay, great, yeah. So we were driving home one night or one afternoon. And the playground that's on the ridge,
Yes,
he just moseyed through the playground, walked across the street, the 918 or whatever the house is, at the Brown House, it just went down to the turnpike. He took his time, or he or she, I don't know. So, if we just stopped and watched.
Yeah.
He
It's
had
kind
the
of a
right,
running joke for us, but a number of years ago, we moved from our, well, my wife grew up from Hebron. We raised our kids in Hebron, that's out in the sticks. We see more wildlife here than we saw in Hebron. You'd think moving to a suburban community, that there'd be less of that, but my wife saw a bear across our front lawn.
we have a
well, it's a
bobcat,
nice community,
And we
and bears recognize that.
Yes.
Good community, Bear friendly.
Right, where,
we have a bobcat, we've had deer. But the Yukon came to our house one day and they said, we'd like to put a camera on the back of your garage. I said, why? Because if that's the path the bobcat takes. He just follows the backyards of the houses on the ridge. So he's a regular.
Apparently.
Herb, do you have any concerns?
No, I think it's a great plan.
Do I have a motion to close the hearing?
motion to close the hearing.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Um,
Madam Chair,
Yes?
Lorraine, am I seated? I'm an alternate, so I don't know if I'm seated or not.
No, because we have 5.
Okay,
So not that we don't need you, but.
no, I just want to make sure. I don't want to vote when I can't, so that's fine.
What did you say?
I just don't want to vote when I'm not supposed to. Since I'm not seated, I can't vote, so
Okay. I should have made that clear. But thank you.
I came in late.
Thank you for your input.
Well, for purposes of deliberation, I make a motion to approve application 2025-04.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Oh, thank you. We can be excused.
You can stay if
You
you
are
like.
released, but
It's
you can
open to the
stay.
public.
Well, since you've already made a deliberation, I'm fine with it.
Thank
Good
you.
luck, thank you. Take care.
Take care.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And good luck with it. Okay, so the next hearing is HDC 2025-05. Request of Eric and Chris Stevens for an in-ground pool at 935 Worthington Ridge. And you have her name right on record.
Yeah, I think
I
I
can
remember
help
that.
it. That's okay. Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Daniela Batzer. I'm representing Giuliano's Pools on behalf of the Stevens family. They want to put an 18 by 30 mountain pond in-ground pool in their backyard. And that would have a vinyl liner. It would have a stamped concrete patio and a 4-foot tall, black aluminum fencing surrounding it. They also want it to have some deck jets. So those are like the little fountains that are in the concrete that kind of shoot across the pool. So they want 2 of those, and 2 LED lights.
Yeah, I've never seen that before.
Yeah, I included a picture of it
Yeah, I
in one of
saw
the
that,
samples, yeah, just to kind of show you, the picture I gave shows 4, but they're going to have just 2 of them.
Lorraine, I have a question for you, being the junior member here.
Yeah.
Do we have precedent for pools that are visible from the street?
Yeah.
No.
We have, our Powers has a pool. The Campanellis and the Ford Tavern used to have a pool, they just removed it a few years ago. They're on the corner of Sunset and Worthington Ridge,
Okay.
the Ford
okay,
Tavern
Yeah,
house. And then the Grady's, who live at, I think it's 1022, their house is set up and they put in the pool in the back.
yes, we can see that from our yard, I don't think that's visible from the street, but it is if you pay.
You can see the fence, but you can't really see the pool, but they did come for a hearing
Yes.
and. Oh, you have a pool, but you can't see it.
try.
So there have been noise.
Okay, so I think it's the logic, unless there's something very emotional about it, that this, because of the precedent, would be approved, would that be the default?
We don't want a nice one.
You're saying those other, what, our Powers of Grady, like those, see those pools from the street? Only
They have fences,
Yeah,
Oh, you can? Oh,
yeah, so
there's a couple on that you can't see back.
I know pools now, I mean, for a long time, they have to be fenced in anyhow
Yeah.
for safety
Right,
reasons.
oh, yeah.
This pool isn't gonna be very good.
Yeah, that's true.
You're
Yeah,
gonna
when
have to
I-
do some serious grading for this.
Mhm.
I mean, that
Cause that's on
that
the hill,
backyard really
right?
drops off.
It does, we're trying to match the grade as much as possible, but, yeah, we'll probably cut into it just a little bit and then, do like a landscape grade off the back side of it, down into where it drops off.
But is the fencing on your sketch here?
Yes,
Yeah, yes. So you'll be fencing in the whole backyard, not just.
yeah,
How, there's a dog fence there now, right?
there is a dog fence there.
How far is your pool from that dog fence? Which I assume is coming down.
Yeah, so the dog fence is gonna come down. I'm not sure what their plans are with the dog fence versus this fence,
Yeah.
but yeah. They
Yeah.
mentioned wanting to fence in the backyard, so that's how I drew it pretty.
Is there a pool house for this
No.
or a pump house?
Nope, so the equipment pad, it's 3 feet by 3 feet square. There's gonna be 2 of them because they're going to have a heater with it. And they will be on the back side of the house, so they won't be visible from,
It won't be visible.
yes.
And pool chemicals and such will be stored there?
Most of our customers store chemicals if they don't have a shed just in their basements. They don't really need to keep
Okay.
chlorine tabs. Like in
So
their basements.
there won't be an extra building.
Saltwater pool.
They are doing a mineral system, so
Oh.
it's chlorine, but it's just not as harsh. You don't need, it's 0.5 parts per million, which is actually less than drinking water, believe it or not. It's- yeah,
I
it's-
get a little cringy when I hear about, oh, we're gonna keep all the chemicals in our bees. I hope they're more benign than.
Yes, yes,
That's not historic, it's in that.
sure.
And what kind of filter, like DE or something?
So it is a Stay-Right System 3. It's a cartridge filter, that does have DE in it, but it doesn't have a backwash cycle, so they
Oh.
can just take the cartridge out and hose it off of them.
They're not pumping the water into the woods or
No.
something, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
When I didn't walk by, but just driving by because of the elevation. And there's like gates and gardens or something up at the street level. It's hard pressed to see how I would even see it.
Yeah,
So,
You see it from the sidewalk.
okay, you walked in.
Yeah.
I know you live right there,
Yeah,
so.
I live there.
So you scoped it out.
Yeah.
I haven't, I apologize, it would be, that would have been ideal, to at least take a ride by, would it be
Yeah.
possible, Alexa, to bring up? Google Maps and just, so I can see what the student view looks like?
So the aluminum fencing that you're proposing is very similar to the picture?
Yes, it's exactly the same. Yeah,
And it's flat, I think you
Flat.
said it's flat.
yes.
There's not a whole lot of chemicals you're gonna have lying around, it's chlorine tabs, I mean, you're gonna shock the pool, but that's stuff people keep in the garage.
Yeah, yeah.
People don't have huts for that kind of stuff.
No, that's about it. And we also offer a weekly service plan, so a lot of the times. The customers that we build for end up just using us to clean their pool weekly, and then we bring the chemicals and then we take out whatever they don't need, so. There's a chance they wouldn't even be storing anything at all.
So you guys open and close the pool, do everything, and then do weekly?
We do,
Really?
yep,
Alexa, it's the yellow house to the right. Keep going.
Oh, so this is across from Thompson Street.
Should I go to,
Oh, I know, I see.
to this end?
Can you see it?
Oh, it's that house?
Between that and the white brick house?
Oh,
Can you look?
If you don't stop at the stop sign, you run into the front.
I
of the
never
house.
even could see. Going down that.
But they do have about 60 feet to the right of the house.
It's right there in between the,
It's 15 feet off the back of the house, but it really drops off quick. 15 feet off the corner.
yeah, you can see it.
Yeah, you can see it, but
It's
it's
not.
not. It's barely enough.
I'm
And
just
they
really curious
maintain
how they
the
do that,
garden
because the
around
hill
there.
is so.
It's very-
Just once the fence is up. You have a hard time. seeing.
Very
Very
nice.
nice, so it's a beautiful pool.
Something as the summers get hotter, that we're probably gonna have more people, yes.
Oh,
Were you in your pool at the summer?
I suggested a couple of years ago that that area would make a great sunken garden.
Oh.
Our kids have moved on,
Oh,
so it's my bride and me, and so the pool gets used like 3 or 4 times. I'm like,
oh, well,
and where it is, it would actually make an amazing garden area. You could do raised beds. It's already got the
Yeah.
huge flagstones, and it would make and we actually have raised beds around the pool.
Hmm.
It's a lot of money. And a lot of work.
Wow.
I don't have a service to come by and take care of the pool, but thank God for a robot vacuum. If
Yes.
we didn't have one of those, we would
Yeah.
not have a pool.
oh, I know, like, there was another person, on the bridge that had, a pool that removed it. I think, like you say, like, over time, the kids grow up, they're not using it, and it's a lot of maintenance, and so people don't want it bothered.
it happens.
It was great when the kids were little, came home from work, stayed in the pool till 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, got out, had dinner, but now.
So, Kurt, I have to disagree with you, I think this will be very physical for us. Not that that makes a difference, I agree, aesthetically,
Yeah.
for the sidewalk,
Oh,
yeah, I mean, a good
Right.
portion of the pool probably. Already.
Yeah,
Hunter
we
has a
might
question.
see that we will probably.
I see some landscaping in the
hand.
future.
Yeah,
But
no,
yeah,
they have a lot of
Yeah, you've got a
landscape
question.
there that would.
Hmm.
That would
Sandra,
block
do
it
you have a
out.
question?
I do.
Okay, go ahead.
I notice I don't know, I'm not familiar with this property and how it drops off, but is there any concern of once this pool is put in, any drainage in the surrounding neighbors? Because it looks like they have neighbors to the side and to the back. Is there any consideration for once this pool is put in, any drainage that's gonna impact the neighbors?
Well, sir, even though they're not gonna be backwashing, you're gonna have wastewater, you're gonna have to expel, right? So there will be some of that.
Really only if we have like a lot of rain
Yeah.
or to winterize. And even then, because the water has such few parts per million of chlorine, like usually homeowners will pump to the street, or if that's not acceptable, we also have water tanker trucks that we can pump onto our water tanker trucks.
No, I think you could just pump it way into the way back. That's
Yeah, that's really.
They're gonna have to move some earth to put this in, and there's gonna be some grading problem. I'm sure they can correct into that problem. It is pretty steep. Get rid of excess water would not be a problem.
And that's really a building requirement.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not a bad thing. to
yeah,
bring
that's,
up
yeah.
Wire, but
Yeah.
Yeah, our concern is just how it looks.
Well, I mean, it's a change in character. Profit.
yes,
But
but
your
the
point
issue
is-
is like drainage and that kind of.
Yeah, but your point, I think Apple's point is, you're only gonna be expelling wastewater a few times a year.
Yeah, I think like our concern, like say the pool had been put in right next to the sidewalk or something.
Yeah,
like in
right.
that
Yeah,
open
yeah, yeah.
area
Do anyway.
where it's more visible, then it becomes a little bit more problematic, like, do we wanna allow visible pools like that? But then some people put in a lot of vegetation to hide it. But we haven't come up with that yet. The one pool I'm thinking of was done way before I was involved, so I don't know. It was probably before the commission even existed, so can't really speak to that. But I don't think this will be that visible.
Can I ask, do you know offhand, like if the other pools that are visible from the street, do they have a privacy fence or is it like the rails, like in the pictures?
It's.
I
You
think
can
one of them was just a chain link, I can't remember
Okay.
which one it was,
chain link.
just a chain link fence.
Well, if we're
It was an
on,
older pool, you couldn't. chain link.
this is
Yeah,
Worthington
I
Bridge and Hudson Street, is that where this is?
Right, when you're coming up Hudson Street, it's immediately.
Yeah,
across.
so if you're, sorry, you guys talking about further towards like. Like you headed towards Route 9, where are you talking about? Are you further away? Where one of the examples of pools?
Well, there's
Because our
one,
power
three
system
houses,
is-
three houses down, actually two houses down from us, that would be like 10, 22, maybe something like that.
I'm just wondering where if we can see it.
And that
If we go down, if we go down this way, the direction we're going, I wonder how far down,
This way?
yeah. Cause. We got closer to.
So John, I was speaking in the other direction. That's
Oh, yeah,
one
oh, yeah.
pool that I am.
The other direction?
It's the other direction, I'm sorry.
Well, the most recent one,
And
that-
that is,
that
the
was-
question, that fence is a solid.
it's,
Okay, I was
But-
just curious, like if
They
one of
got
the,
Approval to build a heat fence, if I'm
Okay.
not mistaken.
if one of the conditions of approval needed to be a privacy fence, so that way it was completely solid and you
Should be to
couldn't
the
see
right here.
pool at all, then,
okay,
This blue house?
no, the one
One to the
just
right.
north of, to the
You can See a
right,
portion of the fence there, that house right there.
okay, the yellow house and the bath.
And it's probably a little more
You
visible.
see it from the other side of the house. No. Okay. See up there, there's a stone wall and then,
Stone wall.
and it's kind of behind them.
Was that the one you're talking about removing? There was one on the east side. Very visible, it's like inside your, there's an in-ground.
The east side is the Fuller Tavern, the Campanellis.
No, I mean, on the east side of the ridge,
Yeah,
there used to be one in
Yeah.
ground, is that the one you're saying was removed?
Yeah.
Okay, cause I.
no, it's,
Yeah.
they left the fence.
Yeah, they left the
It's,
fence, cause that one you could see very
I
clearly.
think
Yeah.
this photo predates the installation of the pool there. I don't see it.
Oh, this is 24.
Well, like I said, when I drive by, I can barely tell. You just see the fencing.
Yeah.
And they planted vegetation on it, so,
Yeah,
and it's up above, so you're not looking down at a pool.
that's Stephen Kennedy's driveway, and the fence is, from this angle, would be quite visible because it's parallel to the driveway. Maybe 50 feet off the driveway, and I don't see anything there. No, it is like the photo, that pool must have gone in probably late last year.
It's longer ago than that, a few
Well,
years
this is-
ago.
This is August 24th for the photo. Not that it makes a difference, but I would have expected
Well,
to see the fence and I.
Next time walk by and look up there,
Yeah, okay, I'll do that. And not that it makes a difference, but it would be an example of a solid fence.
He lives almost next door. like, So,
Your neighborhood.
Yeah, we're the next house to the right. The one.
Yeah, there isn't or was an above ground down almost to, the fence behind the privacy fence, and you don't even really see it from the road.
Yeah.
I forgot about it, I just happened to see it now in the sand, but,
well, let's get back to this.
yeah.
Yeah.
You guys wander away from the topic.
I think we've thoroughly, edited this project.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so
I'll make a motion to approve application 2025-05.
do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Thank you very much.
When are they gonna start doing it? Will they enjoy it this year at all?
Probably not.
Well, you did say it's
Well, it
heat.
depends on the eater.
It would be heated, yes.
Depends what they want their gas bill to be.
Yes, yes. No, not likely for this year, but, they usually at a certain point in October, they stop pouring concrete, so. We'll wait until the spring to pour and then get the certificate of occupancy so that they can start enjoying it for pool season, so,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for stopping
Have a
by.
good night.
Okay. So next thing is going back to the minutes. From last meeting, everybody have a chance to look at them?
The only thing I noticed is that, we should mention that Commissioner Forthash recused himself from the his own application.
Thank you, John. That's not a bad idea. I mean, it's on record.
Yeah, no, his vote used unanimously approved. That's yes, except for with the exception of your recusal.
Yeah.
That's it.
You got that, Alexa?
Yes.
That was it. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes, with the suggested correction.
Do I have a second? Okay. Everybody in, well,
Aye.
everybody was here, yeah, aye. Okay, so the minutes are approved. So then we go into other business. I'm just looking at this, I mean, Don knows this because I contacted him, but we raised the issue about the tree stumps and stair removal in front of his house.
Right.
And I contacted Mike Ahern, who's the Public Works Director. And he got back to me right away and said, you know, it's on his list.
Been there for 2 years, but.
It'll run eventually.
But
Yeah.
look at you eventually.
Well, it's more than that, because he has agreed to remove the unsafe stairway that goes from the sidewalk. And it empties right out on
Right.
Wellington Ridge.
Oh, this is good. Good news. Thanks.
Yeah, there's
That's
three,
vintage.
three other sets of stairs on the bridge.
Yeah,
This
there's
much,
several.
To that, yeah.
Well, that used to be a very
Open
common
up the
thing.
can of
Well,
worms.
he agreed to do it because of the convenience factor, I guess, that's what I would say, because he's gonna be there removing 2 stumps. And regrading it, and it doesn't make sense
Good.
to not
Yeah.
take the opportunity to get rid of the stairs.
You know, it's like,
So I don't know what the plan, I don't know anything about the plan for the others, but it
Yeah,
would be
oh, I-
theoretically just as unsafe.
in front of the meeting house, there's some old steps too. But sometimes I've walked up there and I think these are very safe. They're more like stones like set in the hill going up there and nobody uses them.
And they probably moved it.
You know, kind of getting buried in the hill.
There's a lot of lawsuits over stairs.
Well, and these stairs, doubly so for these, because these stairs are technically a public way. And if anyone trips on them, the town gets sued.
Okay,
Okay, I
Just about that, so there's a motivation.
There's a motivation from the
Yeah.
Public Works Department, especially now the fact they're on not that they haven't been on notice of it, but you put them on actual notice by.
Now it's in the meeting minutes.
Now, yeah, and it's also in our meeting minutes. Yes, exactly.
so last time we talked about the old town hall again.
Yeah, I
Is there
did.
an update?
Yeah, so I did speak with the town manager about that and he drafted a letter, a notice of violation. Our town attorney is the one who has to send that, so he did send it to her this morning, so she's reviewing it and then she will send it after she reviews it.
And what does the letter say?
That they're in violation, if they have, I believe, 15 days to respond. After those 15 days, they can ask for another 15-day extension. I believe if they don't, then we can begin fining them, whatever the amount is a day, $100 or something. It says it in the letter. I can bring the letter next time. I just, because our town attorney didn't review it yet, I wasn't sure if I could bring it or not. Cause it didn't go out yet.
Very good, thank you.
So I think our goal is, it's not to find them, it's to get them.
Yeah, for-
Action on their part.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's to find them until they cry uncle and do something.
Mhm.
That's the purpose of the fine.
Yeah, I know in the past, the town has always, they've never wanted to find people and they tend to try to work with
Understand that.
people.
Mhm.
Well, then they
But it has
should-
to work in both directions, right? I mean,
Yeah,
Because the general perception from like what I used to do was every dollar you find them is a dollar they're not going to spend on corrective action.
There's some truth to that.
Um,
Yeah.
mhm. I
And,
know more-
but sometimes you need to give them the impression that it's gonna be cheaper for them to fix it than to deal with the fines, and obviously, you know. No amount of cajoling or encouragement has
That's why.
inspired them to do anything, so at the very least, they need to understand that the cost of fines will be greater, and it will happen. Will be greater than the cost of them just doing what they need to do.
What they need to do is to sell it.
Yeah.
To
The only
somebody
thing,
that'll
of
take
course, the
care of
problem
it.
then is if they don't have money to fix it, the problem. They're not gonna have the money to pay the fine either. Nothing's gonna change other than we now have a lien on the town will now have a lien on the property eventually. But it, you know, we
Well,
can't just
maybe,
sit back,
because
we're not doing
The
anything.
family home is right next door,
Yes,
and, well, when I say family home, I don't know if the owner of record for the home is the same individual as.
well, it doesn't matter, cause typically.
Say that again?
You
It's
could
two
correct me if
different
I'm wrong.
properties, two different structures on two different plots.
Yes.
Yeah, so the
And
one
so-
property is in violation, correct me if I'm wrong, any fines will go to the owner of that property.
Right.
But any lien would be on that property, not on their other
It
property,
would be whichever property has
Is-
the blight,
that's the lights, and so,
which is the property with that structure on it.
yes, but the one we're saying is the owner of that structure owns the family home right next to
Well,
it,
we
so.
don't, I don't know.
But it wouldn't matter,
No, but.
so
if
when they
somebody-
sell their family home.
If
they're
somebody
gonna
puts a
have
lien on your family home.
But you won't, you can't put a lien on the family home, because the family home is the one that's blighted, it's the old town
Well,
hall.
even if it is the exact same owner.
It's the lien is on the property. The blight is fine on the property
understand,
that is
okay, I
in
get it.
violation.
But they're separate lots. They're
Yes.
Owned,
Oh,
they're
yes.
owned by the same individual,
But
but they're
they're
separate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure they're owned by the same individual. That's the point.
It wouldn't matter either way.
Yeah.
Well, whoever owns the meeting house will be the one who's fined,
Yes,
whoever it is.
yeah, but the point
Yeah.
being that it's not, you were what concerned, you were floating the idea that when they go to sell the homes they live in, that this would be an issue. It's not gonna be an issue. It only could be an issue if they go to sell the old meeting house.
Yes,
It's not a
Then-
big house, it's the town
Town
hall.
hall, I'm sorry.
Well, the hope is that if they don't go abide by the grace period and ultimately, you know, there's significant fines, the hope is they'll just sell it.
Yeah.
And if they don't sell it, in theory, there could be a foreclosure sale. Which is obviously extreme,
eventually
but that's the
Yeah.
end game, would be that way, the town doesn't have to be beholden to these people owning it. I don't know who would buy it, but maybe somebody would and do something with it.
It would have to be a fire sale.
Or the town,
Well-
is the successful bidder, the town, they do something. with it.
Town originally owned it and they had an auction and sold it.
Which is ironic, so we'd be bidding at an auction to get it back.
And that's no disrespect to the town of Berlin, but in all the towns I've worked in and had experiences. I cringe when I see a historic property become property of the town, because.
They're not gonna do any better.
Yes, but they might maintain it better, but they tend to do things that are out of character of the building. And you just kind of look at it and go, oh.
So who's gonna stop?
well,
Right.
right, theoretically,
Well.
if the
it's a-
town owned it, would we still have
Yeah.
authority with respect to changes? Yes.
Yeah,
Even though the town owns it,
Yeah.
so there's no
Sure.
exemption for the town, I guess, as well, so,
right.
so that might,
Yeah, you just, you know,
Maybe.
the town
But I
decides that they
found
don't.
like it's hard to enforce if the town owns something and say it's deteriorating. It's hard to enforce them with their own
The state,
statutes. To
The
like
state-
paint a building.
I can see the challenge there,
yeah, the
yes.
state doesn't even enforce its own fire and building code regulations on itself.
Hmm.
Wow,
If we're talking in generalities.
Yeah, so anyhow, I
I'd be
mean,
very
very
interested in
there.
to see the letter and to see exactly what the violation
Okay,
they're being held for.
Yeah,
yeah, that's, I think we all
So maybe
understand,
next
because it's
week-
not an approved letter yet, you
um,
may not have felt
Yeah.
comfortable really, and that's understood.
oh, I wanted to bring up something, Carol Wader, who used to be chair of this. Were you here when she was chair? I'm trying to remember. It was
No,
before Susan.
yes, no, not Carol, no, Susan, and I was here when, what's it, I can't think of his name, was briefly the chair.
Oh, I know you.
And
Well, anyhow, Carol lives directly across from the church. And she contacted me and said she has a wood deck in the rear. It's a small deck with railing and steps. And she wants to completely, because it's deteriorating, just rebuild it the way it is.
Yeah.
But it's not to code because the railing has to be higher by, I don't know how much.
yeah,
But it's gonna look essentially the same, only the railing will be a little bit higher, and I said, I don't know if I can even see that.
yeah, if you
And
can't
just
see
like
it.
driving by, I can see like this little tiny bit of it, and I'm
And
like,
I think it would come down to, is if it's like for like, then it's approved,
yeah,
and of course, it has to come up to modern code. Which would be a higher
we'd
railing,
have to approve it anyhow.
yeah, we'd approve it, but I can't imagine there'd be any reason to
Cause I
say
didn't-
no, because it's
And-
like.
But no, that's where you get into things like, well, hold on. We're only gonna do half of it, so it's really just a renovation of an existing railing.
Yeah.
And therefore, you don't have to bring it up to code, and then a year later, well, we're gonna do the other half.
No,
you get it
no,
all.
it's everything
I'm trying to do the right thing,
It used to be.
but I didn't wanna drag her.
I get what
through
you're
it.
saying.
If she didn't have to come.
Nowadays, it's new, but especially something like a railing, no building official is gonna approve a railing that doesn't meet modern, just because it's not.
Well,
Well,
we
if they
did-
were, if it was a 20-foot railing and they were gonna replace just.
Bill, they did get an exemption. Were
That's
you on the commission when that ornate Victorian house with they took down the porch? Suddenly they took down the porch, remember? Maybe it was before
I think
you.
that might have been before. me.
But they got there is like on a historic house, there is some kind of exemption. For the railing thing, and they were able to
Yeah,
rebuild it the same way. But they
It
got some waiver
varies.
through the
It-
state preservation office.
yeah, it has to, a lot of things, yeah, there's a, like for stairs and things like that, there are some exceptions. But we're not, this is a deck, which is obviously not historic.
Yeah.
So it'd be a, you know,
Right. Okay, so I told her I didn't think she needed
yeah,
this.
but it's, hey, if she wants to come by and it just, if she wants to apply, I would say go right ahead, apply for the permit, then there's no concern in the future if someone said this wasn't a permit, or if the building department says, well, you need a permit.
Well, I
And
thought
now
about
it's
that too,
delayed.
like, did she go to the building, because normally the building department, when they see you live on the ridge, then
Yeah.
they go to Alexa.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I had
But I
to
don't
do
know.
the fence around my pool, I still reached out even though you can't see the fence around my pool.
yeah, I remember
You can't
that.
even see the pool, but I figured, I don't have to worry if, with any concerns in the future and.
Okay, so I just had two other things. The Worthington Meeting House 250 years since it was first occupied celebration is rescheduled for October 18th. Starts at 11. The mayor's going to do a proclamation. And the Theater Guild of Berlin is performing, it's about like a 20-minute, 25-minute play that reenacts the arbitration that took place when 4 members from the Massachusetts Bay Colony came here to arbitrate because the Kensington Parish was all squabbling over what to do because they
Never changed.
to split. I mean, I think this is how the whole Berlin Kensington thing started. But the previous meeting house was kind of diagonal to Kensington Market, you know, where that brown
Yeah.
building is. There, I mean, nobody has a picture of it or anything, but the congregation had grown so much that they needed a bigger space. And the people who lived to the east, which included people back then, because this is before Berlin was even formed. So it'd be like parts of Middletown, Weathersfield, that area. Didn't like traveling in the winter all the way over to the center of. It wasn't even called Kensington at the time.
Yeah,
And the same with the western people. So that's what happened is Colonel Worthington arbitrated the whole thing. And they were so grateful they named the meeting house after him. But he decided one would be built to the west, and that still exists. It's Kensington Congregational. And then one would be built to the east, and he helped select where the property would be. And that became known as Worthington. So it's a whole like play that one of our members wrote, reenacting this. There's humor in it too. I think it's really fun.
Well, this is great.
well, I have to say, when we first moved to town. I had a couple people correct me, oh, no, you're not in Kensington. You're in
Oh,
Berlin."
yeah,
I'm like,
I grew up with that whole
doesn't
thing.
matter. And so I started pronouncing it Kensington. I'm sorry, I'm from Berlin, not Kensington. And I still, but it's interesting because if you, depending on what service you're typing your address in, it'll correct it to Berlin or Kensington. If you type in the zip
Yeah.
code, some will throw it to Berlin, some will throw
I
it to
know,
Kensington.
it's,
I just, whatever you pick, but I
But-
remember that very clearly. I mentioned that to someone I
but
started.
so many
to-
towns,
Oh, no, you're not from Kennedy, you're not from Kensington, you're from Berlin.
so many towns in New England are like that because it all went back to the congregational parishes.
Yeah,
And when they kept dividing, like you got Unionville as part of Farmington,
yeah.
you know, Marion is part of Southington.
And
You know,
if
all this
if
kind of
one of them
stuff.
becomes more hoity-toity. Then I grew up in Stratford, and Stratford has a section called Lordship down
Yeah,
by the water. And we used to kid around, like, if you're from Stratford, but not from Lordship, they would put gates up and check your address before they let you in.
yeah.
Lordship.
See, I think like
My
that,
grandmother's house is in Barnshire.
there's so much
It's a
like
great
that.
house With a view of the sound and everything else.
It's a beautiful little community, but
Well, anyhow, so
Yeah.
you'll be able to go
Okay.
in the meeting house, see some of it. It's really kind of a construction site. And then you'll be able to see the cupola up close, the little house that Berlin Historical Society built and the property behind the gardens. Got some activities, you know, all kinds of things going on. So it's 11 to 4. And if it rains, it's the following Saturday, and if it rains then, I don't know what we're gonna do.
it
Well, the reason
rains,
it's in October was a rain out, right?
Yeah,
well, it rains a couple weekends in a row in stations, people be celebrating, just, you know.
You know, we need the
something like
rain,
that, but
so the one other thing I wanted to bring up, and I do this because years ago, there's a program called Certified Legal Government through the state, the National Park Service.
Yes, I remember.
Sponsors it, and we applied to become part of that. There's out of 169 towns, there's maybe 50 that joined this, and the State Preservation Office administers it. Well, what you do as a town, you have to promise that you are advocating for preservation throughout town,
Yeah.
even though you don't have any legal say. You can't stop somebody from doing something. You know, applies to like land and historic houses, things like that, that we're supposed to be advocates. So Berlin Land Trust has been eyeing this property for a long time on High Road.
I'm sorry, did we get that? I don't remember if we got
Oh,
that
yeah.
designation. We did.
Yeah, and we actually,
I'm sorry to think my brain.
there's grants
doesn't mind anymore.
that it affords that we could apply for grants for certain, not construction grants, but planning grants for
Yeah.
things.
Okay,
Signage, we could do a new walking tour booklet,
yeah.
You know, it's-
Yeah,
conditions assessment, that kind of thing. And we did that for the Berlin Free Library. We got a grant for them through that. So this land on High Road is part of the old Moore Farm, which was the land owned by Nelson Augustus Moore. He was a famous painter from this area. In the 19th century, I think he died in 1902 or something, but he was really well known among Hudson River School of Painters. But he preferred painting Kensington. He just loved scenery there, the apple orchards, the hills, the mountains, everything. And they had a farm on the property. His house still stands. It was built with stone and cement from the family cement mill. And it was said to be one of the first cement mills in the area. So the house and the property here is still, there's somebody that lives in the artist studio out there. This is,
Keep talking.
so Land Trust, with their mission is to preserve open space land. But this property, because of the link to the family, the Moores are very well known in the area. Ethelbert became president of Stanley Works. Marjorie Moore was a philanthropist and community leader in town. It's a whole extended family of very generous and talented people. There's multiple painters in his family. So after the last heir died, the property across the street, which was called the Lower Meadow, which is the subject of a lot of his paintings, has now been developed. There's like house. It's really sad because it was a beautiful area. So they're trying to preserve what's left. There's 27 acres here, and the last occupancy was by a horse farm. Maybe like 10 years ago that closed. It was a therapeutic riding stable. So in the course of all this, the land trust people discovered that they were actually in the will for a conservation easement on the house and 5 acres surrounding it.
And this has been 100 years and they just discovered it, is that?
Well, no, the last heir like died maybe 10 years ago or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I-
and the property across the street got sold to an LLC that's in Florida. And so they're kind of, so it doesn't really have any vested interest in local stuff.
Talk about slumlord.
So is
Probably.
is the house on the property that they're after?
They would like to acquire all the property on this side, which is a total of 27 acres. They have an easement already on the house in the will and 5 acres surrounding the house. And I don't know if this is kind of make it hard to ever sell this property with the house because the land trust has say over whatever is done to it, much like we have say over what happens in the historic district. But they're trying to acquire the other 21 acres. It's an absolutely beautiful piece of property.
Yeah.
So this is really cool, but they formed a relationship with the Trust for Public Land, which is a national organization that has a lot of money, and they've got a commitment for $850,000, which is gonna go a long way towards buying this, but they're applying for other grants to try to, acquire the whole property before a developer does. So I just wanted to bring this up because it's
Did you
part
think
of.
somebody's living in the structure currently or? portion of the
There's a
structure?
caretaker,
Oh, there's.
that lives in, it's either a barn or, the artist studio still exists, and he lives back there. but apparently the house, they've had the house looked at and it's in fairly decent shape considering. So they're looking eventually making it an outdoor center for hiking, educational things, maybe revive the artist studio, have the house open so people can use it for events. And because they approached my groups and I think, we're like all consumed with the meeting house, like, I can't really take on raising funds for this thing too, but we're kind of allies in trying to preserve what we have in town that's of historic importance. So I just wanted to make you aware of all that.
The mason that rebuilt our 2 chimneys on the ridge did a lot of work in that home
Okay.
recently.
Who's your next?
Well, Lorenzo,
Oh, I remember you mentioning him.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
in his 90s now. I think he worked on that house 15 or 20 years ago.
Yeah,
I don't know exactly what he did.
but it's worth if you're over that part of town, like Drive High Road. It's very hard to see the house because it's so overgrown with trees and shrubs now, but at the Historical Society, there's old pictures of what it looked like, and as I say, it was the subject of a lot of his paintings.
It's a beautiful house.
Yeah. Well, it'd be sad to see that all built up with houses. As-
Well, we certainly need more housing, but we also need to maintain open space. We kind of wish more places had been designed along like Savannah where you have neighborhoods around parks,
Hmm.
rather than just house.
So does anybody else have anything to bring up?
No.
Andre, are
Other
you
than,
still there?
My wife and I have spent some time, spent a week in Savannah. To go weekend, Charlestown, South Carolina. And they have a lot of historic structures. One of the challenges they have is that complying with code to the letter of the law is prohibitively expensive. So properties are simply left to deteriorate. So what's happening in some areas to a limited degree is they're adding some flexibility to the code where it's not an outright safety risk. But one example might be insulation levels.
Yeah.
If they're tearing it down to the studs, typically you have to bring it up to.
Yeah. Well, that's why I didn't want to say anything. This tiny little addition for a washer and dryer, a laundry room. But it has to be 6 inches because that is now the required code. So you
Yeah.
have 6 inches of insulation. I can guarantee, and that's why I just kept joking around. The rest of his house is not 6 inches, except for the sunroom. He said he built that.
Yeah.
But he was ahead of the curve when he
Yeah.
decided he wants 6 inches thick. So that's one of the things that strikes me as comical is that if you have a house that with 2x4 construction, you want to build a little bump out for an entryway. The entryway has to be done with 2x6s. And it's like, so you're gonna have a little 8x10 section of your wall that is really well insulated. And the rest, like my house is a beam. And there's probably horsehair between the walls. But if I were to put a enclosure around my door, a little foyer, that foyer would have to be 2x6 construction with the proper depth of insulation. And if you took a thermal imager and looked at it, you have red, and a tiny little. So that's why, the code.
No, but I mentioned it
The code
because,
needs to be flexible, and that's why, no one adopts the model code unmolested. Everyone in the state of Connecticut has huge changes in the code. The code originally said that all doors that exited outside had to be at ground level. And New Englanders and people in northern states said, well, what about snow? You got 2 inches of snow and the door won't open. And so the model codes eventually caught up with reality and said, okay, well, we're gonna allow a step down in your exit door, so that if you have 4 inches of snow, you don't block it.
no, I just pointed it out for a different reason,
Yeah.
because deterioration is considered a worse evil than non-compliance with some non.
Well, yeah, there's a term for it. We call it demolition by neglect.
Yeah, exactly.
And it is a thing, and one of the things we could, and that's why when I first joined the commission, I said we need to be cognizant of that. Because if we are too rigid in our enforcement, people will say, well, if I can't do what I want with this structure, and make it more livable for me, I'm just gonna let it go. Which sadly, I don't think that's what's happening with the town hall. But people will do that, and then it becomes, I need to get a permit to demolish it. And and here's why, and the building inspector say it's unsafe, let them tear it down, and we're just stuck, so you have to be.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate.
Fortunately, we have some flexibility and the code doesn't.
Some areas are smartening up and
Yeah.
going a little less aggressive on code compliance. Again, where the way it was explained to us, where there is no directive.
Yeah, well, and the code actually, at least the fire code has sections in it where you can say, you know what, this is a prescriptive, almost the whole code is prescriptive. Must, shall.
Yeah.
But there's a section, there's an entire code book, basic book, where you can say, well, I'm not going to, I'm going to do a performance analysis.
Performance code.
Yeah, so I'm gonna look, instead of trying to meet all these stringent requirements, I'm going to do, first, I'm going to assess the structure from a performance standpoint.
Yeah.
And identify what things do I don't wanna put a sprinkler system, and can I get away with doing other things? So I don't have to rip out all the walls and put plumbing in. And so there's not many people address that because it's time consuming and, you know,
Yeah.
and no one,
Okay.
and not
I
many
get
people want
started, I
to,
got us
and
on.
not many people
Can
want
we
to sign off.
have a motion to adjourn and you can
Yeah.
continue your.
Sure.
discussion
Sorry.
together. I'm sure Alexa wants to go.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have a motion?
Short meeting.
Do you have a motion?
So I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Oh, is that your beard?
Our visitor.
Lori,
That's
for
our
the event
events.
this weekend,
Wandering.
What?
for the event that you were referring to, the problem, be there, problem not.
Doesn't care.
Thank you for.
It's the
He
18th.
went through our.
Somebody
Say, what's going on this week? No.
No, you're, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay,
But you were also looking for the fire.
Our neighbor has it all on film
Okay,
and
now.
video.
Wonderful.
He's got a good video.
I'm gonna end
I
the
was talking to my
video.
neighbors.
What?
I'm gonna end the Zoom.
So I ran into
Okay.
Karen Simpson.
Good night.
Muffled, I'm gonna drive a turn over hill around the curve and